What is good, everybody? It is Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we are live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for Dog Behavior Q&A, episode 136. That's right, there's 136 of them. And, well, this is where we take your questions and give you the best answers possible. The more questions, the better. The more questions you ask, the more people will be helped out. So feel free to ask any questions you like. It doesn't matter. Or if you have a topic that you'd like me to talk about, bring it on. All right. Let's get started. Okay. Amanda Lynn says how to stop a large dog with a jumping habit to stop jumping up on people permanently. Well, Amanda, you have to ask yourself, or, maybe not have to ask yourself, but you probably have to stop the jumping with you and or people in your house. That's where it all starts. See, you teach the dog how to handle the world within the walls of your home. So I'd be willing to bet that the dog jumps on you guys. At least at one point it did. So if you can stop your dog from jumping on you guys, or if it never was allowed to jump on you guys, the people that it lives with, then the dog will not assume that it's okay to jump on other people. It's a problem, bigger problem. It becomes a bigger problem when the dog jumps on other people because other people may not like it. You guys may tolerate it. You guys may not like it, but you guys don't stop it because it's affecting you and not others. So, might be the case, might not be. Most likely. But bottom line, when it comes to jumping is a respect thing. If dog is jumping on you, then they can jump on you. It's very disrespectful in the dog-to-dog world. Especially if the dog is interacting with a new dog. It's disrespectful. And sometimes it can result into a fight. So, jumping is about respect. And you always start with how the dog treats the people who they spend the most time with. All right, I'll leave it at that for now. But thank you for your question. Okay, we got a question live, guys. Those of you who are watching live, we will answer your questions first. We will answer you guys' questions first, and then we'll go back to the questions that I've kind of got on other social media outlets. But feel free to chime in at any time because we want to make this as live as possible. So ask your questions and we will answer them right away. And if I skip you for some reason, just kind of keep commenting. Just be like, hey, dummy, answer my question. Okay. Jason says, hey, I want to thank you for helping our treeing Walker Coonhound. He's a lot better with the e-collar you suggested. You're very, very welcome. I've had a lot of Coonhound or just hound calls lately this week in particular. Man, there's a lot of them in shelters. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them in shelters. Hi, Kim. Um, and those dogs are not the easiest dogs to deal with. Those dogs they tough. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep it moving. All right, next question. What is the body language of the other dog, the spotted one, saying? Uh, well, this question is related to the picture that I have up posted um, about the Rottweiler puppy and then the Great Dane. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at it. But I would say the body language is sort of like what you would do if a stranger wanted to come up and put his lips or her lips on your cheek. That's the body language. I mean, the body language is like, I don't want your tongue to touch me. That is the body language of the Great Dane. That's it. Nothing more than that. Hi there. I'll be reaching out to you soon regarding one of my dogs, but I'm looking for some insight on inner dog aggression. I have a 1-year-old male who attacks my 11-year-old male, in parentheses, alpha, but submits to my 2 other males. What are some triggers or behaviors that I can look for to help stop the interaction before the fight begins? Food and toys were obvious triggers, and they have been separated during those times. Thank you. Okay. So you have a 1-year-old male who attacks your 11-year-old male, but submits to the 2 other males. What are some triggers or behaviors? Well, it looks like the 1-year-old kind of feels like the 11-year-old is getting weak, and he'd like to move up. The 1-year-old would like to move up in the totem pole. And so yeah, that happens. But I would say your 1-year-old needs to learn that it's not okay to fight, and it needs to be presented. The 1-year-old needs to be presented with something it would like to avoid while thinking about fighting. And so you kind of got to spend time with the pack, keep your eye on that 1-year-old. And if that 1-year-old gets that look in its eye towards your 11-year-old, then you want to, at that moment, give that 1-year-old a consequence that will help him realize that the fighting behavior is not okay. So, and the consequence depends on the dog for the most part. If he's not overly sensitive, you can use something like an e-collar. If he is sensitive, you can still use the e-collar, but be gentle with it. Bottom line, dogs should get along in the home, or at least coexist. But that is up to you guys. All right. And more triggers besides and food and toys would be uh you guys could be a trigger, space, thresholds, anywhere where the dogs are all excited or get excited. You coming through the door, you letting them out. Um, Anything that gets them excited could potentially trigger that response. All right. All right. Enough about that. All right, guys. Those of you who just joined in, please feel free to ask questions, as many as you like. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And all of these, little podcasts are recorded on iTunes. Um, that means you can listen to me. If you have like a long road trip, you can listen to my voice talk about dogs, and you don't have to look at me. Okay, next question. Okay, Lisa says had two boxers. Older is the alpha, female, and younger male, currently 7 years old. He submitted to my female 90% of the time, always got along with boyfriend's 7-year-old lab, also an alpha female. Okay. Always got along with, okay. My female passed away in August, so now he's the only dog in the house. Went camping with BF and his dog, and 2 weekends in a row, they have gotten in gnarly fights. Yikes. It's like my male has lost his submissiveness and the female lab isn't having it. How do we retrain them to get the pecking order back in place? Oh, okay. So let me reread this question so that I can be clear on what's going on. All right. Had two boxers, older alpha female and younger male, currently 7. Okay. He submitted to the female 90% of the time and always got along with boyfriend's 7-year-old lab. Also, alpha female. Okay, my female passed away in August, so now he's the only dog in the house. Went camping with the BF dog, and 2 weekends in a row they've gotten in gnarly fights. Okay, it's like my male has lost his submissiveness, and the female lab isn't having it. Okay, how do we retrain them to get back the pecking order back in place? Okay, first of all, just because your male was submissive to your older female doesn't mean he's going to be submissive to another female. And when males and females fight like that, that just tells me that there's a lot that could be cleaned up on the back end to help them dogs respect a little bit more. First of all, again, first and foremost, when dogs fight, that's you should take that as disrespect to you, the parent, because they are totally not minding you at all. When they fight, they're saying, we're going to do what we want to do here, and we don't care about the consequences at all. There aren't any certainly worth not fighting. So we're going to go ahead and fight. No worries. That's what your dogs are thinking. No problem. So on the back end way, you can help your dog listen to you better. Look for things where your dog doesn't listen to you, besides when they're fighting. and then help the dog listen on a high level on those ends. That 90%, or, people call me all the time and they say 90% of the time the dogs are fine, but it's just that 10% where they're fighting, biting, barking, and da, 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 da. And it's like, just because they aren't biting in that 90% doesn't mean they're actually good. Just because a dog doesn't bite doesn't mean they're a good dog. So so bottom line, you have to get your dogs to listen better in general, first and foremost, before you can ever get them to actually listen to you when something like that crazy crap happens. Because dogs are social. They're social animals. I mean, they're social species. And so with the right approach, you can get any dog to be around other dogs and be civil. You just have to learn how to, the most reliable way, again, is to learn how to get respect from them. So when they start to stiffen up or look at each other or get out of control, you can get them calm, or you can break their focus, or you can get them to listen to you when you say, hey, no, knock it off, come, go lay down. If your dogs can listen to you when those things happen, when you say those things, um, then you can stop fighting. Sister? What do you mean, sister? Tide has a sister now? You guys got another dog? Petunia? Who's that? Who's that? Well, mini golden doodle. Oh my god. You guys got another dog, man. Oh boy. Well, alrighty then. Well, let's talk. Let's just talk. Hey, I mean, yeah, I'm here. Okay, let's keep it moving. Chris says, "Why, oh why, do dogs eat snow?" Uh, why do dogs eat snow? Your guess is as good as mine, because they're trying to hydrate, because it's fun, because they can. I don't know. I don't know. See, I don't know everything. And I'll say I don't know if I don't know. All right, those of you who are watching, hey, guys, ask some questions. Make sure that they are in English because I can't read any other language. A little bit of German, but that's about it. Okay. Feel free to ask as many questions as you like. Know that your question will help others because we're all dealing with the same species and we're all dealing with similar issues. I want to let you guys know that my dogs are not good dogs. They have come a long way, but they were all bound to be put down. They were all bound to be put down. If they didn't have me, they would not be here. If it's the weather change, well, Tide's anxiety isn't at all all-time high. So those of you who don't know and can't see and whatever it is, Tide is a Belgian Malinois. Don't even look that up. And do me a favor, don't ever get that type of dog. Okay? Belgian Malinois need to be left for crazy people because those dogs are crazy. As a matter of fact, look them up. Look them up because, I mean, you need to know what you're dealing with. They're crazy, man. They are not for calm. Like there's no calm. You know, those dogs are so high prey driven. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Tide's anxiety is an all-time high. If the weather has changed, then has the exercise changed? If the anxiety has increased, has the exercise decreased? The weather will make the exercise decrease. You know what I mean? He's eating. I saw that. He ate your room up. He ate your room up. But it'll happen. It can happen to anybody, especially if you forget to exercise your dogs. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but you know exactly what to do. Will the treadmill? Of course it will. Treadmill will help with that. Of course it will. Yeah. Of course. People need training more than the dogs. No, the dogs need training. First, for sure. You know what I mean? I'm babysitting a 5-year-old Malinois right now, and he is the most well-behaved. Owner has spent tons of time with him. Okay, well, first of all, he's 5, so he's an adult. And second of all, the owner has spent tons and tons of time. You know what I mean? So, yes, I agree. I need more training than the dogs. Okay. Some people agree with you. But if I would say this, so this is why I argue that this is not right, or that's not the right approach. If I just said, all right, dog needs no training, I'm just going to train the person, then it ain't going to work. You have to get over the dog's behavior, assertive behavior. You have to well, you don't have to get over the dog's assertive behavior. You have to teach the dog how to get what it wants in a different way, and that takes time. You can't just say, hey, otherwise I could just talk people into training their dogs. There's levels to it, man. You can't just like with e-collar training for sure. I have to have my eyes on the dog. So I need to have the dog for a while. And then I need to have people for a while. The people are the most important. You're absolutely right on that regard. But can't do it without a dog knowing knowing some basics. And I don't mean, you know, most of the people say their dog is knows come down, sit, stay. And then when the dog gets here, they don't do any of it. Absolutely. The owners need better education about owning animals. I agree. I agree. So, anyway, it's about, I haven't really thought about it, but off the top of my head, I like to have 3 weeks with a dog, but I'm willing to experiment. I don't know if you guys know, but sometimes maybe I shouldn't say that. Never mind. I won't say it. But 3 weeks is probably good. Is a really good amount of time to help the dog realize how to get what it wants in a calm way instead of an assertive, fearful, aggressive, bratty type of deal. So let's do this. Let's do this. Somebody out there watching, give me, because I always kind of gotta bust myths that people, I think in general have about dogs. Here's one. Don't get pissed if your dog ran away from you and comes back. Don't get pissed at the dog. I disagree. I think the dog needs to know that it did something wrong. Okay, what you gonna do? Give it a treat and pet it? Oh, dog's gonna be like, oh, so this was cool, right? I can go run and you good with that. So in my opinion, it's a myth. Like you can show a little bit of displeasure for that behavior because it's not in a full bar. It's not it's not something you want to happen over and over again. Yeah. So, anyway, we'll get back to the live questions. I want to jump back to that subject, so hold that thought or comment, you guys. I mean, let me know about certain things that you think doesn't feel right, but is sort of popular public opinion about certain dogs and their behavior and how to handle it. Okay. Hey, Jeremy. So our pup Sonny doesn't listen or listen to our 11-year-old daughter when they are playing. He consistently bites on her playfully, even when she tells/yells for him to stop. He stops for a second, but then starts biting again. How can we get him to obey her? Give him a consequence worth avoiding. Okay. So whatever your e-collar setting is that gets the dog to stop or gets the dog's attention, I would say go up 15 levels and then repeat it and then tell him to stop. You can get Sonny to stop playing with dogs when you say so. I know because I've spent a lot of time with him. Okay, so give that a shot. That's pretty simple. Give that a shot. Just tell him no. And again, use the level that works for him because he knows it's wrong. If you've already warned him with your voice, no, then he doesn't really respect the 11-year-old and or you guys enough. So turn up the volume on the e-collar. He asks for he needs the level that works, and the level that works is the level that is going to get him to stop. All right? He's just being his energetic puppy biting self, but it's still disrespectful. And it's up to you guys to do that. She doesn't need to necessarily be in that role. Or I'm not sure. I don't have an 11-year-old daughter, and I don't know their capacity to be able to use certain tools, but I almost thought about telling you to give her the e-collar, but you can use the e-collar. She can say no, and you can use the e-collar. If that doesn't work, please feel free. Level 78 here. Please feel free to. I seen the text. I seen the text that. Well, the only text I seen was full bar, and you had me at full bar. But yeah, if that doesn't work, Jody, if you guys still can't figure it out, please let me know, and I'll stop over and we can get it done. All right. Roll Tide. Oh, God. All right. Let's keep it moving, guys. Roll Tide. Oh man. All right, guys. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, keep the conversation going, man. If you disagree with me, let me know. Let's have a conversation. This is how we're going to continue to get people or get each other better. This is a conversation obviously is huge when it comes to dog training. I often have to stop people from rambling because they will ramble on the phone for a very long time. Because I do think dogs, we're so connected to them emotionally that sometimes we can be blinded by love. Our love for our animals can blind us to certain things, because I had this person on the phone and this person was just going in circles and saying, oh, he's good 98% of the time, but the other 10% he's this and that, and he would never hurt me. And I'm like, but you just told me he tried to bite you when you decided to take him off of the counter. What are you talking about? So there's a lot of back and forth inconsistencies, and I'm thinking, okay, why is what's going on? Well, because again, dog training is very emotional. Well, not dog training, just living with your dog, loving your dog is a very emotional thing. And I find it tough to, it's almost like you have to, I do believe in being very honest and very truthful, because when people come to me with their dog problems and I see that their dog, or I hear that their dog is expressing behaviors that could get them put down, then I cut straight to the chase, because there are many dogs who don't even get the opportunity to have one or two bites on the resume. And so, but the risk of being so upfront sometimes is that people get offended. People get offended and they don't want to then listen to your advice. But I don't want people to get hurt. I don't want people to lose their house. I don't want people to be living with a liability. And it's tough to again wean through sometimes what sometimes people can just be straight up dishonest and not even be conscious of what they're telling me, because what they're telling me and what actually happens can sometimes be two different things. When people say dogs are like children, it does my head in. Okay, question for you there, buddy. Do you have children? I'll wait for your response. Good point. We can be blinded. We do the same with people. Absolutely. Love is blind. That very much so holds true. All right. We got a question on Facebook. Whoa, that's a long one. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up. Okay, I didn't get it on right at 8. So I'm sorry if I missed, but I'm looking for help with my inner dog aggression. Yeah, it's going to be if you can just wait. I don't want to repeat myself, but I did answer that probably like in the first part of this. So I'll be on another at least, or at the most, 20 minutes. So your question is answered first 1 or 2, okay? Just look for that question in the beginning. But yeah. But I'll read your question anyway. How about it? Because you look like you added another question. All right, I didn't get right of the 1-year-old GSD, 11-year-old GSD pit mix, 11-year-old is alpha, has no interest in puppy. 11-year-old is alpha, has no interest in puppy. 3 months ago, started attacked and breaking skin. They are fine majority of the time, and out of nowhere, 1-year-old attacks. Food and toys have been taken away when together. 1-year-old never submits to the other two. The 1-year-old submits to the other two males, never reacted to the adult kids or plethora of other dogs. Has been around big baby majority of the time. Has some anxiety issues with kenneling and being left alone. Not sure if related. Sure, it's related. 100% related. If you address the big baby, you call him big baby for a reason. If you address the big baby, then you can help with the fighting. I mean, you might even be able to eliminate the fighting. If he's a big baby, that means he gets what he wants and he's pushy. That's the definition of a big baby, right? Wants to be petted. Hey, listen, guys, here's the other thing about being petted. People are probably going to not, I don't know, feel some type of way about this. Just because a dog lets you pet them doesn't mean they love you. I got news for you. Just because, I'm going to repeat it, just because a dog lets you pet them, just because a dog even lets you pet their belly, it has nothing to do with them being sweet. It has nothing to do with them being sweet. Oh, he's so sweet. He lets me pet their belly. He can be an asshole still. All dogs, most dogs, want to be felt up. You don't have to be a nice person to want to be felt up. It's like going to get a massage and the massage therapist saying, "Oh, he's so sweet. He lets me massage him." You know, what dog wouldn't want to be rubbed up on? Doesn't make them sweet. Doesn't make them they doesn't necessarily mean they love you. Here's a way to figure out if they love you. Do they follow you? That's a better way. If you guys are off, if the dog is off leash and you're walking around the neighborhood, or not the neighborhood, just a field or whatever it may be, does the dog follow you without you forcing him to be there with a leash? That's love. I mean, so um, of course, dogs want to be on couches. They're comfortable. It's more comfortable. Of course, dogs want to be on beds. They're more comfortable. Doesn't make them sweet. Doesn't make them any less of a butthole, because those dogs bite. You know, if dogs were on couches and beds and they never bite, then I could say those dogs are sweethearts. But from my perspective, when people call me and dogs are biting, chances are they're on couches and beds and they like to be rubbed up on. So that doesn't make them love you, and that doesn't make them sweethearts when they like to be touched. A dog who is a straight up big old brat loves to be touched. Who wouldn't? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. All right. Any mind games that you can recommend for Dozer? He can no longer be exercised, walked regularly. We need to be watchful of his weight, and the games I found so far involve treats. He does have his nightly Kong, but need to find anything else that can stimulate his mind. How about, let's see if you can do some nose work with him. How about that? That doesn't take much energy physically, but it does help him use his brain. So you can look up some cool little nose work toys or nose work walls, and you can hide different treats in different sections of this wall and make it more difficult or hard for him to find those things. And then you can do it all around the house. Nose work again is not that taxing physically, but it can be challenging mentally, and it's fun. And Dozer would be a great candidate for it. All right, you guys, those of you who have just joined in, please feel free to ask any question you like. Know that your question will directly help others who are struggling or who have the same challenges as you. So don't be shy. Ask away. Please ask. You didn't answer my question, but I'll answer it. I mean, I'll respond to your statement. Your statement is, when people say dogs are like children, it does my head in. So I'm assuming that you think that there's no correlation. There's no similarities. And I would definitely disagree, man. Definitely. Because I have a child now. And there are so many similarities. It's crazy. I would challenge someone to say on our basic needs as a species that there aren't any differences on our basic needs. And if anyone disagrees, please comment and let's talk about it. Okay, anybody watching, right? Answer this question. What is, well, I've done this before a long time ago, but I'll do it again. What is the number one, what do you think drives a dog? What is their number one drive? Anybody? Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Somebody give me something. What is a dog's number one drive? And if someone gets it right, I will train them for free. I'll give them a free session. All right, we got somebody who says treats. Anybody else? Attention. Someone else says attention. Let's keep it going. Self-preservation. Let's keep it going. Anybody else? We got 3 answers in. I can be more specific too, man. Your approval. All great answers. Let's I'll be more specific to help you guys. What is going to cause a dog to do the most extreme thing to get? What's going to drive a dog to do the most extreme behavior to get to its goal? Let's say that. That can be a little bit more, a little easier. Because all of you, again, all of you are great. They're a great response, but they're in it for themselves. All right, that's closer. But what does it mean to be in it for themselves? What does that mean? What are we here for? What are dogs here for? Like, what do dogs get in fights for? Not just dogs. What do all species? You just watched the nature show, and because fighting is a crazy drive. It is. It's a I might die drive. I might get very injured, but I will risk getting into a fight for this. What is it? Kim says control. Nope. To be in a pack leader, close to satisfy their needs as a priority. We're getting hotter. It's getting hot up in here. Getting hot up in here. A little closer. What is it, man? I'm gonna keep giving you guys clues, but it's kind of fun. Territory is a very high drive. Yes, very much so. And they will fight for that. So, all right, I'll give you guys another clue because territory is exactly right. Prey is a very good answer as well. But still, we're still not there. Number one drive, man. Number one drive. And it's let me think of a clue here. Well, I'll give you some back end clues. Dogs will jump fences. That'll give it away. I can't be too easy on you. Another one says pray. Another person says pray. Respect. Nope. Now we're getting a little colder. All right, so I'm going to re-emphasize again. If you watch nature shows and they are I mean, it's all. I mean, it's all mammals. There you go. Finally, we got it. Someone said it. It's to reproduce. There you go. Now we're getting it. That's it. Sex. Number one drive. Dog, you guys know if a dog smells a dog in heat, or if a dog or a male dog encounters another male and there's one female, and one male has already mated with one, man, please. It's over. Dogs can do some extreme things to try and reproduce. That is the essential, that's why they're here. I mean, that's in their DNA. Yeah, you should have started with sex, because that's what it is. Number one drive. I need to go reproduce right there. So treats are a great motivator. Like you guys said, territory is probably the second. Resources, territory can kind of coexist. If they are spayed, same effect. No, not really. No, I don't I don't think so. I had a female in heat, and all my dogs are spayed and neutered. And I had a female in heat, and they didn't really give a crap. Not far from humans. Exactly. That's why you were the only trainer that would take my unaltered male. Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. And thankfully, I didn't have any females around, or especially females in heat. So I'm gonna go to the bar. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's it, man. That that drive is crazy. I've seen some dogs do some crazy things, and they'll starve themselves. They won't eat for days. They'll starve themselves. They'll risk their lives by fighting another dog. They want to get to that scent, that heat. Somebody in the neighborhood is on right now, and they want to get to it. So that's their number one drive. Fortunately, there's a lot of spaying and neutering that's going on, but unfortunately, there's a lot of places that aren't. Anywho, territory is definitely a high drive, even for dogs who are altered. Territory is probably what I get the most calls for. If territory is definitely something that they defend. They'll bite over, bark crazy over. Once they're off, a lot of dogs are okay off of their territory. So that's a definite drive for them as well. But anywho, maybe I'll have more of these little trivia questions, man, or make something up. Maybe I can make some sort of game for the shows moving forward. This was fun. Yeah, let me just check if I have any more questions, but I don't think I do. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll end it there then, guys. I think that's a pretty good note to end. I appreciate you guys watching. Please give me a thumbs up, a heart, or whatever you want to do. Please subscribe if you haven't on YouTube, and follow me on Instagram. I don't really post much, maybe once a week, twice a week, but whatever. Yes, vehicles are part of territory. I would say vehicles aren't territory. I would say vehicles are are valued as the same as crates. What vehicles provide dogs is sort of a way that they can't get away. So they deal with the conflict by being assertive. You know what I'm saying? Just like a crate. And so I equate the crate the same way as a car, because when they're in a car, they're in a box, they can't get away. And then when they're not in a car, they have the option to walk away. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.